I'm out here today on the 2006. I'm at Milkwood. I'm going to head up towards Ravenswood and cross the river. They've been putting more and more of them solar farms in on both sides of the river. That's what all them black panels are down there. Then it goes on for a ways. I don't know what they're building here now, but I have a feeling it has to do with them solar farms. All that black is solar panels. Go park here on Route 2. I crossed the river the other day, and the road I wanted to go, I ain't going to accelerate till I get on the road because all that gravel. Well, I think I'll go through Century Drive. This road is here is because of the Kaiser aluminum plant. It ain't been Kaiser for a long time. I don't think it's Century now. It's been Himothy and Kaiser and Alcan and Constolium. I'm named after my dad's best friend. He's a couple years older than my dad. But he was one of the very first hires down here. His badge number was something like 4 or possibly 7. It was in the single digits. He got hired on while they were still building on the plant. I assume he did. He talked about unloading railroad cars down here and things. This road's got a couple of bad spots in it. And they're hard to see until you're up on them. I hate when people throw stuff like that out. Looks like a seat out of a car or something. A mattress there. Well, at least they got a sign now for the rough road. I think the other lane's rougher. Dang, that's pretty rough. You very seldom see a car on this road. We're on the high river, by the way. work up towards Ravenswood, probably use this to come into work. They do have a house or two on this end. And the ones that work out of Milkwood, Harley, Ripley, use the other entrance. I don't think it's the job it was when it was in Kaiser. I mean, it's well paid. I mean, factoring in for inflation and all that stuff. Well, we're back on Route 2 again, fixing to get on it. I had crossed the river the other day, and they had the roads closed because they're painting stripes on the road. But surely they won't have it closed today on a Sunday. Past the scenic overlook, but I ain't gonna be able to see anything with the leaves on. I don't even know what, well, we might have already passed it. It's no big deal. I don't even know why they call it a scenic overlook. There's a better one up the river on the high side. We'll be going through a rare, I mean it's rare because it's over in Ohio, Civil War battlefield. Around here there's two famous John Morgans. John F. Morgan that got hung down in Ripley by Owen Shin for murder. Pretty famous. And he actually murdered 3 people. And then John Hunt Morgan, which is a brigadier general that he lost the battle over here. He was a Confederate. he had raided all through Indiana and Kentucky. There's a fuzz. Ravenswood's kind of a speed trap. He raided all through Indiana and Kentucky. Basically a nuisance. War was pretty much lost by 1863. But he had orders not to cross the Ohio and go, or that ain't it. Had orders not to cross the Ohio and go into Ohio. They told him to stay in Kentucky. Well, he crossed anyways and started, like I say, just raids, just mainly being a pest. Rigged the path of destruction. On one of them other videos I had, I passed the bridge. I just seen it on a side road. I said that bridge got some kind of historical significance. And the reason it does is it's Rainbow Arch Bridge, which is uncommon. But John Hunt Morgan burnt the original bridge that was there. They built a covered bridge over it. And then when they replaced it with that Rainbow Arch Bridge. But there's an island. If the river wasn't crooked, you could see it. It ain't very far up the river. I would say no more than 2 miles from here. But Buffington Island is the other side of the river. And the river, you can ford the river at Buffington Island. The river's smaller in certain spots because they got these locks and dams over it now. But anyways, he would go across back. He probably wanted to get a more friendly territory. West Virginia was, I guess technically it was Union. They didn't become a state till 1863. But Jackson County, which is the county that we just left, had about an equal amount of Confederate and Union. But anyways, he would go across back there, and he come up on a scouting patrol with the Union Army. There's another solar farm, more of them. It was General Judah of the Union Army. It was his scouting party. I think they was all under Ambrose Burnside. But the scouting party more or less just walked up on Morgan's patrol there, and he ripped them in that skirmish. A famous guy, pretty famous because he was head of the, what they call the, I hope everybody can hear me, he was head of the Fighting McCooks. There was 8 or 10 out of a family. He was the dad. The Cook boys, he was close to 70, and he got mortally wounded at the first skirmish. They put him on a gunboat. There were 3 gunboats in the Ohio River in that area. I remember the name of one of them was the Moose. The name's kind of familiar, but they put him on a gunboat and tried to get him to a hospital in Cincinnati, but he died. Before they shut down the old road, we could have just certainly got a bridge turned to the right, and we would have already been to the battlefield by now. And they could kind of go around it. Like I said, they said the road was closed the other day, and They were painting their stripe, but I don't think they can be doing anything on a Sunday. Can't be wet paint. It says it's closed 8 miles ahead, but I don't see how they could be closing the road 8 miles ahead on a Sunday. Because I seen them out there, all they're going to paint these white stripes. They were cleaning up the grass and stuff on the edge of the road. But they actually flagged me by. I must have thought I was local. And I thought, well, I'm going to be able to make it. And I got up the road, and they had pylons across the road. Couldn't cross it. Sign there said no solar farms. I guess people don't like them. I don't know who gets the energy from them. I'm sure it's sold to somebody, but behind me. Before they shut down this road, that's the one that if we would have turned to the right as soon as we crossed the bridge, we would have been here by now. I mean, been here before we got to this turnoff. Anyways, we're back on the high. The battle I was talking about is called the Battle of Buffington Island, but most of it took place here in Ohio. McCook got shot down in a ravine. I don't think it's that one, but it could have been. That was the upper end of the battle. I'll stop at a little park that they have. That's where most of the battlefield was. Right past here, there's 2 field hospitals. I wouldn't pay much attention back there. They had a little memorial set up to McCook by the edge of the road at one time. I hope we didn't go past the first field hospital because it's still being lived in and it's easy to not pay much attention to it. One of them was Richie's place. Richie's a pretty common name around here on both sides of the river. That bridge we crossed while ago is the William Ritchie Bridge. I hope we didn't pass that. I think this is the ravine. Maybe not. If McCook was shot in, I might be wrong. Okay. Believe it or not, field hospital there. I know it looks too good. And that was also a Civil War field hospital. I think he came from out that way. I would like to know for sure if the road was still open. Even though they're putting all them solar farms in, this is still farm country. There's part of where the battle was. I'll link a guy's video. I ain't going down all them gravel roads to where every skirmish and battle and all that. I mean, every marker. They got like 20-some markers about the battle. But I'll link his video. Somebody down here. Oops. There's people that day. I don't want to go too into it. Indian Mound there behind that picnic shelter. But anyways, this is a park that kind of commemorates the Battle of Buffington Island. Indian Mound, and they got all kinds of plaques and monuments. They got them for the people of this area that cared for the dying soldiers, and they got it for McCook. And the other day I mentioned the house that I said I liked. It was a newer house. Called it a barn dominium. That is the original. I mean, that reminds me so much of that house, but that's old. It was Buffington Island right over there in the river. You can't really see much of it. But it sits real close to the Ohio side. It might have sat close to the West Virginia side at one time. But like I say, the river is bigger in certain spots because all them locks and dams and stuff. All these signs there with the arrow pointing down there is a historical spot on the battleground. Morgan got beat real bad, lost a lot of his men. Some of his men drowned in the Ohio River, but most of them was defeated or took prisoner on this side or killed. Morgan got away. He lost his, what's that called, artillery. But Morgan got away and was captured about a week later north of here. He was captured with the rest of his men. He had to surrender them. He had to surrender his men. They put his men in prison camps. I hope that guy knows I'm there now. The woman. They put his men in prison camps, but they put him in the Ohio State Penitentiary, and he escaped pretty quickly from there. Made his way back into Confederate territory. He was later killed in battle. Did you have interest in it, I will link to other guy's video. Other guys got more than one video, but I just seen the one where he was at that park and went to the markers and things. I can't remember exactly where it's at, but there's a scenic overlook up here. I'll probably stop it there and probably stop this video and maybe pick up another one. I ain't been on this section of road any farther from where they stopped me the other day. Would have been right around this area, maybe a little farther up. But other than that, I ain't been on this road for a while. That was when I was on my dual sports. We're on the high. This is actually a pretty area. This here is all the Great Bend of the Ohio. I see signs. Pretty soon we'll know whether I can get through. I'm hoping that they moved them. Daggone it. They still got it blocked for no reason whatsoever. It's a Sunday. That's ridiculous. Well, maybe not. Yeah, well, they're fixing road. They got a big place dug out of it there. Wonder where that goes. When you don't know where something goes, you kind of hate to make the investment in trying it. This bike here ain't cut out one bit for gravel, plus I don't want to tear a belt. They say you can get gravel between your belts and your pulleys. If I was on a different kind of bike, I wouldn't worry about it. I should have paid more attention, but they had a bunch of men down there and equipment down there. Right down there on the weekday, I couldn't see that it was all dug out like that. I was just assuming well, this is a good sign. I think that was pavement. If it wasn't much of it. I believe I'm just gonna call this a video. I ain't gonna get up in the middle of nowhere and... Well, thanks for watching.